Hi again. So we're here again in chapter 3.5, and we're going to be talking about calculating the volume of a solid rotating around a vertical axis. And this is going to be a different method. This is going to be our shell method. And we're going to use this function, f of x equals 1 minus 2x plus 3x squared minus 2x cubed. And we're going to go from x equals 0 to x equals 1. We're going to rotate about the y-axis. Now this function here, I can't solve in terms of x very easily. So I need another method to help me be able to calculate the volume. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a rough sketch. Now I can print this out on my calculator, right? Type it into my calculator, graph it out, get a feeling for what this thing looks like. I'm going to go from 0 to 1. So that's the window that I want to look at. What also means is I'm going from 0 to 1 in my y-axis. Here's my x, here's my y. Now I'm going to put a little revolving sign around my y-axis to help myself remember what I'm trying to do. When I plot this out, it looks something like this between 0 and 1. When I rotate this around the y-axis, it'll look like this. It's going to create this circle bit here. Okay, so I've got this shape, kind of looks like a circus tent, if you can imagine, like a dome-shaped thing. Okay, then I'm going to be going around the y-axis to create this. Okay, now the shell method, to calculate the volume, we're calculating, I'm finding out tiny little sliver here. It creates a circle as I go all the way around. So I'm thinking circle. So I've got 2 pi, okay, times my radius, okay. So I'm going to go from 0 to 1. My radius in this case, I'm going from my y-axis all the way to here. So whatever my x value is as I'm going along with that corresponding f of x, x is my radius, okay. The height is corresponding to the function at that particular x value, and the thickness of this tiny little circle is dx. We're going to sum up all those tiny little circles from 0 to 1, and we're going to multiply by 2 pi because it's a circle, circumference of the circle, and that's going to give us the volume. So we plug this in, 2 pi, 0 to 1, x times my f of x, 1 minus 2x plus 3x squared minus 2x cubed with respect to dx. Okay, so now I can multiply this through. When I multiply this through, right, and then I integrate using the power rule, I'm going to get 2 pi times, this is going to be 1/2 x squared minus 2/3 x cubed plus 3/4 x, to the 4th minus 2/5 x to the 5th. It looks like I'm going off a little bit, but remember when I multiply x through, this is going to be x, 2x squared, 3x cubed, minus 2x to the 4th, right? So every power gets increased by 1 when we integrate with the power rule. So I plug in 1 for x, multiply everything through, and subtract out when I plug in 0 for x. So for here, our volume is going to equal 11 over 30 times pi. Okay? And this is our shell method. This is an example. Typically, you want to use the shell method when you're going around a vertical axis, and you want to use the disk or the washer method when you're going around a horizontal axis.